Hey everyone, in this video I'm going to be talking about how to load CSV data into MATLAB. So the first thing you need is a CSV data file. So I opened up Excel, put in some data, put in some x data here, put in some y is equal to x here, y is equal to x squared here, and then I file saved as a CSV file, so called data CSV. So then if I go to my MATLAB file that I started, the first thing that you want to do is open up the data file. And the data file you can see is in the same folder here. So the first thing I want to do is I'll use fopen to open up the data.csv. Okay, and then the next thing I want to do is read in the data from the CSV file, and I like to use textscan. So I'm going to call this variable read data is equal to, using textscan, we want to read data from this file that we just opened. The reason I use FID is because that's how a lot of the, if you read a lot of the information and help, it'll say FID when they use fopen. And then what we want to do is we want to load in. You can see in the file there are 3 points, or 3 data points in each row. So I want to load in 3 floats in each row, like this. And then I want to specify the number of header lines. In this particular file, I have 1 header line. So this is 1 header line. I don't care to read that in. I know what each of the columns are. So I'm going to say header lines 1. And then I also want to specify what the delimiter is. And the delimiter in this case, because it's a CSV file, is a comma, because it's comma separated values. So delimiter is a comma. And we'll end that. Now in this read data, I said data buffer, but I meant read data. In this read data, we want to get the values. So we can say, just to make it easier to read, you don't need to do this, but it might make it easier to read. So I'm going to say x data is equal to read data, and then this is going to be curly brackets, 1, 1, and column 1. And before I do this, or all rows, column 1, before I do this, let me just run this. And you can see in the read data, if I open it up, that there are, it's a cell array, so you can see that there's 3 cells essentially. And if I double click into there, you can see all the data, and you can see here it says read data, and then there's a curly braces 1, 1, and then here you can see read data 1, 2, and then the next one will be 1, 3. So that's what I want to extract. I want to extract in this first one, this is the x data, I want to extract the 1, 1, and I want to extract all the rows in the first column. And the same here, I want to do 1, 2, all rows, first column. So that's what I'm doing here. And so that's the x data. So 1, 1, all rows, first column. So I want y1 data is equal to read data 1, 2, all rows, first column. Y2 data is equal to read data 1, 3, all rows, first column. And then just to show you that it's loaded in right, I'm going to plot it. Figure 1, clear the axis, hold on, grid on, and we're going to plot the x data and y1 data in black, and we'll plot the y2 data in red. Okay, so let's run that. You can see we get a plot of the y is equal to x, y is equal to x squared. Okay, that's interesting. And then the next thing that I want to do just really quickly is I'll do it when you can read the header file in. So I'm going to take this again, open the data file, and then here, I'm going to comment this out really quick. And then here we're going to read in the data from the CSV file. So I'm going to read the header. So just in case you wanted to read in the header and you didn't actually know what the header said beforehand, but you know that there is a header line. Then again, we're going to read in from the FID. And here the header, we'll read these in as strings. So I'm going to use %s. Okay, and we're going to read in 1 line. And we're going to say header lines is 0 because we don't want any header lines. And then the delimiter is still a comma, as such. And then we want to read the data in, and we use textscan again, FID, and again we want to load in these floats. And the delimiter, we don't need to specify the header lines here because we just read it in. And the delimiter is still a comma. Okay, that was right. Well, now let me run it. Okay, now if I open up the read header, you can see that there are 3 strings. There's the first column, second column, third column. And then if I read data in again, you can see that it's still all the data that we wanted. So this is just a simple way, a very simple, straightforward way to load in data from a CSV file. This is not everything that you can do with textscan. I'll do another video on textscan itself. But this should get you started on loading in data, so thanks for watching.